guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm gonna share with you how I plan my days and weeks as a multi-six-figure entrepreneur. So for me, when I transitioned out of corporate, it was really hard for me to adjust to having the freedom over your time. And so it took a while for me to kind of unlearn and get out of the mentality of once I open my eyes, I have to start working and I have to work full days and I have to work full weeks, and had to work to feel accomplished and like I was moving the needle. And that's actually not true at all. And so I've been playing with my schedule a lot over the last nearly 3 years, and I finally found a flow that really works for me and supports my lifestyle. So let's start out with how my weeks look. So on Mondays, I leave Mondays completely open. I don't like to have to be anywhere on a Monday. I like a slow transition from the weekend back into the work week. And I honestly leave Mondays open as a CEO day. And I know a lot of people use that word, but I want to explain what that means to me. It doesn't necessarily mean doing a bunch of admin work or catching up on CEO tasks. It's just like, I'm the CEO of my life and my business, and so where do I need to fill in? Sometimes Mondays are just for like running errands and cleaning up the house, or getting ahead on laundry. Sometimes I meal prep. Sometimes I go grocery shopping. Sometimes I do creative work. Sometimes I work on myself and I take a bubble bath and I work out. But there's nothing that I have to do and nowhere that I have to be on Mondays, and creating that space has been really helpful. So I love Mondays because they're all about what I need to do to set myself up for success for the week ahead, whether that is in work or in my personal life. So Tuesdays are kind of like my Mondays. Tuesdays, I take my team calls and I take my client calls. And when I say client calls, that's a mix of one-on-one calls and my mastermind group calls. So Tuesdays are by far my busiest days, but I personally prefer to stack my calls in one day rather than having a couple of calls every single day stretched across the week. So I'm on coaching calls anywhere from like 10 to noon and then noon to 6, and so they're really long days, but I love it and I can get right in the coaching zone and go call by call and feel really energized by it. Wednesdays are also open for calls, but I don't do as many. The second half of Wednesday turns into whatever I need it to turn into. Sometimes I will work on some other projects, sometimes I will just stop after a couple of coaching calls. It really depends on what's going on, but Tuesdays and Wednesdays sole focus is for me to show up for my clients and for my team. So Thursdays are open for anything extra that my team needs or that I need to create. Podcast interviews, Clubhouse collaborations, anything else where I kind of have to show up, but it's not an official client call, I save for Thursdays. If there's nothing like that going on, it's just another creative day for me. So that's when I'll like prep newsletters. And so you'll notice there's a lot of space in my schedule because I set it up that way. And so Monday is full of a lot of space. The second half of Wednesdays have a lot of space. Thursdays are completely spacious, and then Fridays are kind of like Mondays for me, where I don't commit myself to anything. Most of the time, actually, I take Fridays off or really get into a creative flow, and whether it's like batching videos, recording for YouTube, for the podcast, for course launch, for anything that's coming up, that's what Fridays are really used for. Now, something that I've recently tried and that I'm really loving is I'm also only taking calls on a bi-weekly basis. So that means every other week on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, I will be primarily coaching my clients. And then on the opposite weeks, I actually don't have any meetings except meeting with my team. I have a couple team meetings that takes me anywhere from like an hour to 90 minutes a week. So it's not a lot of time spent on calls with them. We do a lot of our communication through Slack rather than on calls. So in total, there's about 4 days in the entire month where I have longer coaching days, and the rest of my calendar was created to have this space. So what else I want to say about that is, it took me almost 3 years to get to this point, to get out of my business a little bit more so I can have this space in my calendar, and hiring the right people and understanding what kind of team support you need and learning to delegate, learning to trust, really learning to step away. But I'm at a point now where my business really is self-sufficient and my team is awesome and my clients are awesome and I have a great flow in terms of my calendar, and also I have a lot of space. And so what I used to do was coach the first 3 weeks of the month and then take the last week off. And then I was like, what if I could have 2 weeks off? So I tried to do the every other, and that's worked out really, really well. So, I encourage you to take control of your calendar. As business owners, I feel like it's easy to forget that we actually have complete control over, where we have to go and when we have to go there. And so I encourage you to get creative. Play with it. If you like to stack your calls, stack your calls. If you like to spread them out, spread them out. If you want to take a week off a month from coaching, take a week off a month, but really set it up to set yourself up for success at the end of the day. So that is how I structure my weeks. It works really, really well for me. At the end of the day, at the end of this video, what I really want you to take away is that you are in charge of your schedule, you are in charge of your time, and you are in charge of your life and business. So make sure that you are reaping the benefits of entrepreneurship. Make sure that you are really absorbing and soaking in the gift of being in control of your time and your schedule, because I see so many business owners not creating a schedule that best supports them because they think they have to be on every single day, or they're still so much in the corporate traditional 9-to-5 mentality, and that is not why we got into business. Okay, that's all I have for today's video. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and I will see you next week.